Okay, if you don't have question, just I have the one question about the productivity plan by, I think it's devised by Bangladesh government.
Yes.
So how actually this plan was developed? So you were involved or some of the stakeholders were involved, or just curious about it. So
This plan developed by the NPO and APO and concern all ministry organization is concerned, and they are implement this the productivity master plan. When it consider taken, then also consider the SDG and 5-year plan also considered.
okay.
They are in this plan.
Okay.
And now they are the action already action.
Already in the action phase. They are also implementing it now.
Yes, yes, already action phase.
Okay. That's great. Okay. Okay. So with this note, I will just conclude this session. Thank you, Dr. Mamun Rashid again. আচ্ছা, এখন কি পরেরটা আমার আর কি আমি শুরু করে দিব?
হ্যাঁ, শুরু করে দেন।
আপনি একটু দিয়ে দেন শুরু করে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
দিয়ে দেন।
ওকে। Our keynote speaker, Dr. A.R.M. Haruna Rashid, is a presently Associate Professor of Department of Mechanical and Production Engineering, MP, at the Islamic University of Technology. He earned his PhD from Dublin City University and BSc in Mechanical from the BUET. His research activities include the area of ergonomics, engineering design, management, operation research, and renewable energy. He has been serving as Honorary General Secretary of IM Society of Bangladesh since 2016. I am requesting him to present his paper now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mamun, for your kind introduction. And today's topic is about the life cycle analysis as a tool to incorporate sustainability for industries. And he also already introduced, my name is Dr. A.R.M. Harun Rashid. I'm an associate professor and MP department and Islamic University Technology. It's a subsidiary organ of Organized Islamic Cooperation. So in our previous speaker, Dr. Mamun Rashid, already he mentioned a little bit about the life cycle analysis, product life cycle. And here it's a little bit extended one, it's the life cycle analysis. And he also talked about the sustainability. And I also so here I'm talking about how the life cycle analysis can be used for sustainability. Actually, it is developed for the sustainability analysis, and industries could be benefited from this using this tool from at the different phases. So let's begin with some definition of the sustainability. So sustainability is a complex concept, but here the most quoted definition is from the UN World Commission on Environmental Development. It says that sustainability, it is a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. So here, how it would be done? It will be, there will be a of environment, society, and economics. So here, everyone will be benefited. The society, business will do their business, keep our environment for future generations, meeting our needs. So here later some of the, and the sustainability, there's some other things are incorporated, but for our industrial or engineering purpose, we'll just concentrate on this one. That is, we can, very impact than getting the right share for the business, and also there should be a contribution to the society. But here they're incorporated like the respect for nature, universal human rights, economic justice, and the culture of peace. So nowadays they also encompass this thing as sustainability. But here in general, we'll just concentrate on the regard to the use and waste of natural resources, how it could be minimized, and so that we can keep our environment for our next generation. So what's the LC definition? According to the Society of Environmental Toxicology and Chemistry, the product life cycle assessment is an objective process to evaluate the environmental burdens. So usually it's the environmental burdens that we are talking about associated with the product or activity. So it may be a product, or it may be a process, or it may be a service. So in another definition, we see that if they say that it's a product, process, or service. So it may be a product, or it may be a service by which we'd like to identify, evaluate the environmental impact, and then quantifying through energy and material used and waste released to the environment. And by doing so, we'd like to find out the impact of those energy and material uses and release to the environment. For this purpose, we used, so this is this pictorial description. So these things is called the cradle to grave. So someone, when a baby is born, so then maybe his parents are using the cradle, then at the end, okay, we all human beings die and go to the grave. So here it's all encompasses everything from the raw material collection, then manufacturing, distribution, then use, and the disposal or recycling. So everything is included. And so here it encompasses in generally the LCA. It is the entire life cycle, but there is sometimes we can do a partial one, but in generally we do the whole one from the cradle to grave method. So here our purpose is to find out what is the environmental impact by this product or service or process, and this way we can, so what will be the use of this thing? So you see that many companies nowadays, they use for LCA, FL2 Unilever, everyone is using, the big companies. And what will be the use of this LC analysis? So from the LC analysis, we can get an idea that how much impact it is causing to the environment, how much environmental damage are caused. And when we get the information, the real use of this one is that we can compare our different products or different options. We can compare, and by this comparing, we can take some decisions that will be helpful for the company as well as the society and the environment together. So it brings up the sustainability thing. So here just types of LC, I say that cradle to gate, it from the full life cycle. Then another one is called the cradle to gate. It is the partial product life cycle, that is cradle to the plant gate. So here it is, sorry, oops. Manufacturing cradle to the plant gate before it is transported to the consumer. And there is another thing that is called the cradle to cradle. Here it is when we incorporate the recycling thing, that is after recycling, it is coming back into the system loop again. So we can also call it the cradle to cradle. So anyway, so in generally we from cradle to grave. So that is the LCA. And we already discussed why use LCA used. One thing is that estimate the material and energy flows, then the potential environmental impact, and our qualities, our standards, International Standards Organization, they have a standard that is 14,040 and 40,044. So those things, they incorporated this LCA. So objective is that we, as we just already discussed, the complete picture of the activity. And then as we discussed, the one of the use of this one is we can compare, and after comparing this, the decision makers, they can take the decision about different aspects. So when could be the used? So here we, during the design phase, so when there is a design, when a product design is going on, when a product is designed, during this phase, it could be used, or say already the product is on the market, then we can use it. So during the design phase, if we can use the LCA, then we can compare our different options. So option A on option B. And using the LCA, we find that, okay, option A is better than option B. In that case, maybe we can go for the option A. But here it's not only the LCA, the business, they need to think about other aspects, other analysis, cost analysis, other things. So it will be give an idea on the LCA basis, on the environmental impact basis, which one is better. And the company or organization or business, they'll try to go on to incorporate this product if the other things are right. And another one is that something is already, the product is on the market, and using the LCA analysis, we can figure out what are the eco hotspot, or where the hotspots are there, where we can, the most of the environmental impact is occurring. It may be on the user side, or it may be on the manufacturing side. But in generally nowadays, it was found that from the different research that most of the cases nowadays, the companies, they're using latest technology, cutting edge technologies, and that's why in the manufacturing side, the impact is less, but most of the impact nowadays, it is coming from the user side. So here, as I mentioned, we have two types, and there's the retrospective and the prospective. So in the retrospective one, that is existing product, the business can assess what is the environmental impact, and then they can use it for the further improvement. And also there is a use for this one for the business purpose, as we are talking about in this symposium about the global competitiveness. So when we are going to sell the product in the market, maybe in the global market, in that case, we'd like to be competitive. So if we have a better rating from the LCA, that it has a lesser environmental impact, so in that case, we'll have an edge. So if our LCA rating is better, so when we are into the world market, in the world market, we'll have a better marketing, will better brand image. So it will be helpful for us, any company or any organization, or as a whole, as a country, it will be helpful. And as I mentioned that it would be the LCA for the next, that is we can use it in the during the design phase, so that we can incorporate which design is the better one based on this LCA analysis, we can take it up. So this will be another way of doing the LCA life cycle analysis. So how you can do so? So it's there is a lot of data required from the raw material collection to the manufacturing to the use of customer, and then recycling or things. So here a lot of data is collected, different process materials are involved. So there are some databases, and mostly those databases commercially available, and like CIMA Pro, they are the pioneer in the LCA software and LCA data environment. Then Gabi, Grid, Umberto, Open LCA, LCA-Pix, P04. And some of the methods or simpler tools, we can say that the eco integrator is the same by the peer e-consultant. They use this eco integrator 99. Then there's another tool, EcoScan, EcoIT, CML, Center for Environmental Management, Leiden University, Netherlands, their CML method. So these are the some popular methods. So when we are doing the LCA analysis, we have some stages: the goal definition, inventory analysis, impact assessment, improvement assessment. So these are quite obvious. We have to define what is our goal, and then do the inventory about the collection of different data about this whole process, material, everything. And finally, you're going to you do the impact assessment. And finally, after that, we'll go through the improvement. So here again, the same thing, it is like that. We have in the manufacturing stage, then assembly, consumer service, then the 3R, reuse, recycle, and the environmental impact analysis. So these things we covered in the LCA analysis. So here is a description of what we do in that diagram. We need to, so there are a lot of things there for the component parts. So you need to set up the boundary, which things we can include. So you have to different your judgment, or you can use some methods, analytical methods to find out quantitative or qualitative methods to find out which are the important ones and include that in your LCA analysis. So where can the LCA be used? It can be used in the different sectors, we said any product or any process or service. So some of the examples are there, the vehicles or fuel production, infrastructure operation, vehicle infrastructure maintenance. So many other things we can use in this. And using, as you said, different methods, we need to assess the impact. So what may be the barriers of a comprehensive LCA? So what may be the barriers? Obviously, the barrier is that the data collection. As you say that most of the database are now with the companies, those who develop the software. So collection of data is expensive and time consuming. So that is one of the barrier. And sometimes some companies, it may be difficult to buy those software. And when you going for the data collection, the people try to mask information, and the companies do not like to share their databases and other things. So sometimes for that, sometimes you need to estimate the data. So there are some of these things, and maybe some companies, they think that, okay, if they do the LCA, then there may be if they got the lower values result, then there be a bad impression to the, so there are some barriers in the LCA for our developing countries like us, those who don't have that much money, or small and medium industries. So here some LCA use in different sector we just discussed. And from our own research, so we have used in our research and my own research, and also my own research group, they conducted some research. And in our research, we use the EQ indicator method, and this easy to use and is available, freely available, the GRID tool. And now we are planning to use another software that is called Gabi software. So in my PhD work, I used in our pre-talk, there's a part of that. It is on the LC analysis. For that one, we used a life cycle analysis module. So it is used for the design phase, and it takes the information from the designer about the material manufacturing procedure, transport, and end of life. And accordingly, using the EQ indicator method, it suggests a value, and there is a threshold value mentioned in the system. And from there, the designer can get an idea about whether it is, as per the LCA methodology, it has right or not. And accordingly, he or she can modify the design. And lately, we have conducted research and about the transportation fuel, like comparison of LPG and comparing with the petrol and diesel. And using the LC analysis, we found that obviously LPG is better with petrol and diesel. And so that the LPG implementation in our vehicle or transport sector, it will be a good idea. And this year we have taken a project that is the life cycle analysis of the electric car, because the present world is moving towards the electric vehicles. And in Bangladesh, there's a company like that is called Bangladesh Auto Limited, I think. And they're from the next year, they will be producing, or better say assembling electric cars, and it will be sold like from the 12 to 15 lakh. And Nitol Niloy, they are also producing the electric cars. So the Bangladesh market as well, there will be electric cars will be coming. And in the developed countries market, they have the target like within next 5 or 10 years, almost all the vehicles will be converted to the electric vehicles. So it is a latest trend, and in Bangladesh also, maybe we'll see that next 15, 20 years, a majority of the cars will be electric cars. And we'd like to see how, considering the Bangladesh context, how the LC analysis could help the product designer to incorporate the environmental impact analysis thing in their design. With this note, I'm just I think over the time, so I just like to finish my presentation. Thank you very much, and if you have any question, I would like to take up those questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Haruna Rashid, for your nice presentation. Now, invitation to any question, any comment, especially Professor Samsuddin sir, please, from few word from you.
Let other people ask questions, right?
Okay, I think there's no other question. So
We can go to the next session.
okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thanks.
Next section is our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Haidar Ali Bishwas, and session chair, Dr. A.R.M. Haruna Rashid. Now I hand over to Dr. Haruna Rashid to introduce the Dr. Haidar Ali.
Actually,
Okay.
there should be a break now, Maghrib Salat.
Okay.
There
10
should be a
minute
break now.
10-minute break, 38 to 48.
No, 10 minutes is not enough. Maghrib Azan will be given after 8 or 9 minutes. 10 minutes will not be enough. And he cannot
finish before Maghrib.
Okay, I think
I think continue before Maghrib will be finished.
cannot.
okay, so we'll start our